All right, coffee lovers, get ready
Yeah.
because today we're diving deep,
Into.
into the world of Marocchino Caldo.
Ooh, that sounds fancy.
It does. We found this really interesting podcast episode all about it,
Okay.
and it's this luxurious Italian coffee drink, and honestly, it's already got me wanting some caffeine.
Well, what I think is really cool about Marocchino Caldo is that it's kind of like
Yeah.
more than just a drink.
Yeah.
It's like a whole culture of coffee and how Italians, appreciate it.
I've always been curious about that. Like, what is it about
Huh.
this specific drink that makes it so special? Like
Yeah.
in the world of Italian coffee, what makes this one?
Well, think of it this way. It's like
Sure.
a symphony of flavors and textures. You have the boldness of espresso,
Right.
you have the richness of cocoa, and then you have like the smoothness of frothed milk, and it all comes together.
Oh my gosh.
It's really delicious.
You're making me want to go make one right now.
Yeah.
But okay, let's take a step back for a sec. What exactly is a Marocchino Caldo?
So it's basically a warm layered coffee drink, and it actually originated in the Piedmont region in northern Italy. So imagine you have this beautiful glass,
Yeah.
and it's coated with cocoa powder.
Oh.
Then you have a shot of espresso,
Mhm.
and then on top is just like a cloud of frothed milk.
I can already picture it.
Yeah,
That sounds so good.
it is.
Okay, but the name though, Marocchino Caldo.
Right.
That sounds pretty exotic. Where does that come from?
It does sound exotic.
Yeah.
So it's named after Moroccan leather that was used to make hats.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the layered colors of the drink look like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, the Moroccan leather.
I never would guess that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, but enough with the background. Let's
Right.
get to the good part.
Right.
How do we make this?
So the recipe is actually really simple. The key ingredients are freshly brewed espresso,
Okay.
high quality cocoa powder, and milk. But the
Yeah.
quality of your ingredients really does make a difference. If you're going to use like old, stale, whatever,
Yeah.
it's not going to taste as good as if you, get the good stuff.
I'm hearing you. Quality over quantity, especially for something like this.
Exactly.
That sounds pretty decadent.
Okay.
Okay, so walk me through it. What's the process?
Well-
How do we make this?
Okay, so layered beauty.
It's all about layering and precision.
Yeah.
So first you coat the inside of the glass with cocoa powder.
Okay.
And that creates that nice contrast with the colors.
Yeah.
And it kind of infuses a chocolate flavor from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm with you. Cocoa-dusted glass, check. What's next?
Okay, so next you're going to add a shot of espresso,
Okay.
freshly brewed, and make sure it's nice and hot to get all the flavor out of
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so I've got our base.
Yeah.
Now, what about the milk? Do we just pour it in?
No, so this is where the caldo
Which means.
warm
Okay.
comes into play.
Okay.
So you have to froth the milk
Okay.
until it's nice and creamy, and it should be about 150 degrees Fahrenheit.
If it's too hot, you can scald the milk and then it gets a weird texture.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've got our milk nice and frothed.
Yes.
What's the technique? How do we get it in there?
Okay, so gently pour the milk over the back of a spoon
Okay.
and let it cascade over the espresso. And that makes that layered effect.
Like a waterfall.
Yeah, kind of. Like a little coffee waterfall.
Oh my gosh, I'm starting to get it. It's like you said, it's not just a coffee. It's like,
It's an art.
it's an art form. Yeah.
It is.
Oh my gosh.
And then to finish it off, you sprinkle a little bit more cocoa powder on top.
Okay.
And that adds visual appeal, and you get like a burst of chocolate aroma every time you take a sip.
Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, how do we stir it? Is there a technique? Do we mix it all up or?
That's a great question. It's really up to you. Some people like to mix it all up
Okay.
for a uniform chocolate flavor. Other people like to keep it layered
Oh.
and have that kind of changing taste as they go.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never even thought about that.
Yes.
This is making me realize my morning coffee routine is so boring.
Yeah.
I just like grab it and go.
Mm.
This makes me want to like slow down.
Yeah, that's the point of a Marocchino Caldo.
Yeah.
It's not just about the caffeine, it's about taking the time, like the Italians do,
Right.
to enjoy your coffee, enjoy the aroma, enjoy the taste, enjoy the ritual.
You're making me want to go to Italy right now.
Well, maybe we can't all go to Italy, but maybe we can bring Italy to us.
Yes. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we get that Italian cafe vibe?
Oh, okay, so picture this. You've made this beautiful drink.
Yeah.
You light a candle, you put on some relaxing music,
Okay.
and you have it in like a special cup. Maybe get yourself a little biscotti or a pastry.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little indulgence with our fancy drink.
Exactly.
But hold on, before we go create our Italian cafes at home, I've heard that there are some fun variations on the
Yeah.
classic Marocchino Caldo.
There are, there are. If you like hazelnut chocolate,
Oh,
you can add a spoonful of Nutella to the glass before you add the espresso.
Nutella.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What other creative twists are there?
If you want something warmer, spicier,
Okay.
you can sprinkle a little cinnamon into the cocoa powder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it adds a little kick,
Yeah.
especially on a cold day.
So many possibilities. It's amazing how you can play with such a simple drink.
Yeah.
I'm also curious about, like the bigger picture. How does Marocchino Caldo fit into all of Italian coffee culture?
That's a great question. There's actually a fascinating history
Yeah.
behind coffee in Italy. It came to Italy in the 16th century, and then the espresso machine
Right.
totally changed things.
Okay, I am hooked. Let's learn more about Italian coffee and how Marocchino Caldo
Yeah.
fits into it all.
Let's do it.
All right.
There's so much more to discover, like all the different Italian coffee drinks,
yeah.
and then even the health benefits of espresso and cocoa.
Oh.
And maybe we can even figure out how to make that authentic Italian coffee experience at home.
Yes.
You know?
I love it.
It's interesting how Marocchino Caldo kind of represents
Yeah,
like how Italian coffee has changed over time.
I know. I'm so curious about that. Italy and coffee just go together.
Right.
But, how did that all start?
So imagine Italy back in the 16th century.
Okay.
Coffee shows up and it's like a huge hit.
Wow.
But it wasn't until like the late 1800s that things really changed.
What happened then?
The espresso machine was invented.
Ah, that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
like the beginning of
Wow.
all those classic Italian drinks.
Exactly. And Marocchino Caldo is like the
Yeah.
perfect example. They took espresso
Mhm.
and then added chocolate and milk and made something new.
So it's like a modern classic,
Yes.
rooted in tradition, but with a twist.
Exactly. I love that.
And speaking of twists,
Yeah.
did you know there might be some health benefits to Marocchino Caldo?
Wait, really? I thought it was just a yummy treat.
Well,
Yeah.
but the espresso has antioxidants,
Ah.
and those can help your cells and reduce inflammation.
So maybe it's not so bad to have a little indulgence. Okay, I'm sold. What about the cocoa? Does that do anything?
Yeah, cocoa powder has flavonoids,
Okay.
which are good for your heart.
Oh, wow. Who knew?
It's good to know that something so delicious can be good for you, too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Of course, don't go overboard.
Right. Everything in moderation.
Right.
But, okay, so we're talking Italian coffee drinks.
Yeah.
How does Marocchino Caldo compare to, like, cappuccino or macchiato?
Well, they all start with espresso,
Right.
but they're pretty different.
Okay.
Cappuccino is like your classic morning coffee,
Mm.
lots of milk and that thick foam.
Okay, what about macchiato? That one's always confused me a little.
Macchiato is for the real espresso lovers.
Oh,
It's basically just espresso with a little dollop of foam.
so it's strong.
Very strong.
I get it.
Yeah, a quick caffeine boost.
Okay, so then where does that leave our Marocchino Caldo? It's kind of in its own category.
Yeah.
It's that chocolate flavor that makes it special.
Right.
Almost like a dessert coffee.
Mhm.
You can have it any time of day.
Okay.
It's indulgent and cozy and a little fancy.
I love that. So there's like a whole world of Italian coffee.
There is.
It's not just one thing.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so much fun to explore.
Right. It opens your eyes to new things.
It does.
I bet our listeners are thinking this right now.
Probably.
What if you don't have an espresso machine? Can you still make a good Marocchino Caldo?
Absolutely. You don't need a fancy setup.
Okay, good.
A mocha pot works great.
A mocha pot.
Yeah, it's that Italian stovetop coffee maker.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
It makes strong coffee perfect for Marocchino Caldo.
So even if you're not a barista,
Right.
you can still make it.
Exactly.
What if you don't even have a mocha pot? Is there any hope?
Don't worry. You can use strong brewed coffee.
Okay.
It won't be quite as intense as espresso, but it'll still taste good.
That's great to know. It's like anyone can make this.
Yeah, anyone can enjoy a taste of Italy.
Exactly. But we can't forget the pairings.
Oh, the pairings.
Italians love their pastries. What goes well with Marocchino Caldo?
Biscotti is a classic choice.
Okay.
Or cannoli. The sweetness goes so well with the chocolate in the coffee.
I can imagine.
And if you want to be really decadent,
Yeah.
tiramisu.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's the ultimate indulgence.
Okay, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
any more fun facts about Italian coffee that our listeners should know?
Ooh, I do have one.
Okay, let's hear it.
So in Italy, it's not common to order a cappuccino after 11 a.m.
Really? Why is that?
They think milk-based drinks are too heavy to digest later in the day. They usually stick to espresso or something lighter in the afternoon.
So the Marocchino Caldo is like...
It's the perfect exception.
Yeah.
It's not as heavy as a cappuccino, but it still feels special.
I'm learning so much today.
Me too.
It's amazing how much there is to know about coffee.
It is.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Right. That's the beauty of a deep dive.
Exactly. It makes you appreciate things in a new way.
I think our listeners are feeling pretty inspired to try Marocchino Caldo now.
I hope so. All right, well, I think it's time to move on to our final thoughts.
Okay.
We've covered so much about this delicious Italian drink. Okay, so we're back, and we've been talking all about Marocchino Caldo.
Yeah, we've gone through, like, its whole story.
Yeah, like where it came from, how to make it, its
Yeah.
place in, the world of Italian coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and even some possible health benefits.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey.
It has, and honestly, I am so inspired
Yeah.
to try this at home. I feel like it's the perfect way to, upgrade my usual coffee
Yeah.
and just make it feel a little fancier.
It really is a special drink for any occasion.
Yeah.
Like whether you're just having it in the morning or, like
Yeah.
an afternoon treat or even as a dessert.
Yeah.
Just, it always works.
And the best part is you don't have to be like a pro to make it. We talked about how you can use an espresso machine, a mocha pot,
Yeah.
or even just strong coffee.
Yeah.
So really anyone can make this.
Exactly. It's more about like the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Like taking your time, enjoying the process.
Like the Italians do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a ritual.
Like a little mini vacation to Italy.
Right, in your own home.
I love it. Okay, but before we wrap up this whole deep dive,
Yeah.
I'd love to hear, what's your final takeaway? What do you hope our listeners got from all this?
Well, I really hope this inspires them to try new things, with coffee. Don't be afraid to go beyond your usual.
Yeah.
And Marocchino Caldo is just one example
Right.
of what's out there in the world of coffee.
Exactly.
So many different cultures and ways to make it.
I love that it's like expanding your horizons, but with coffee.
Exactly.
And maybe, finding some new favorites along the way.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe someone will discover a love for Italian coffee.
That would be awesome. Well, I want to thank you for taking us on this journey
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
into the world of Marocchino Caldo.
Really fun to share all this.
And to all our listeners out there, we really encourage you
Yes.
to try this at home, experiment with it, make it your own.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Let us know how it turns out. You can share your creations with us on social media.
We want to see.
So until next time, keep brewing, keep exploring.
And keep it delicious.
Yes.